Good morning everyone, dear learners. Today we learned about the Santali language and literature. So learners, language is a way of conveying feelings. All living beings in this world have their own languages. People also have languages to exchange their ideas among themselves. People of all races have their own languages in the world. Santali is also a community among them. The language they speak is called Santali. Santali is the mother tongue of Santals. It is a branch of the Austroasiatic language family. The speakers of Austroasiatic languages are mostly concentrated in the forest areas of the Indian states of Jharkhand, Bihar, West Bengal, Odisha, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, etc. The Santals are the third largest tribe-based population in India. According to the 2011 census, Santali is spoken by around 7.6 million people in India. The Santals have been giving their identity among themselves as Hor from the beginning. Their language was thus called the Hor language. After the Mughals came to India, they left Hor and came to be known as Kherwal. At that time, their mother tongue had become Kherwali. During the British rule in India after the Mughals, they again abandoned Kherwal and adopted the name Santal, and their mother tongue became Santali from the Kherwali language, which has remained continuous till date. Santals believe that Santali language is the language given by the Marangburu and obtained by the Pilchu Haram, Pilchu Budhi. The Marangburu is the main god of the Santals. That is why their language is God language. Santali is a verb-based language and it also has ghl and glottal checked sound. Santali language is more than 9,000 years old. The script for writing this language is Alchiki. This Alchiki was invented by Pandit Raghunath Murmu in the year 1925. On 22 December 2003, the Lok Sabha passed a bill to include Santali language as the 8th scheduled language of India. The government of India recognized the Santali language under the 8th section of the Constitution on 7 January 2004. At present, this language is taught in many Santal areas. Research activities related to Santali language are also given on in college and universities. In the past, the practice of Santali language was limited to Santals only. The Santali language was first studied in India by Christian missionaries for the first time in 1845 with the efforts of Reverend Jeremiah Phillips and Eleanor Sahib. The clergymen of the American Baptist Foreign Mission Society. Santali education was started in the Joleshwar Mission School. Similarly, Santali language was also introduced among the non-Santals. Before the independence of India, the Santali language was mostly studied by Christian missionaries. After this, people of more or less other communities also learned the Santali language and wrote about the Santal. Among them were Dr. Daman Sahu Samir, Dr. Suhrit Kumar Bhaumik, Sudhir Mitra, Sapan Kumar Pramanik, etc. India is a land of multilingual literature. Most of the literature is studied in this country. It is estimated that there are a total of 1500 languages and literatures in India. Santali literature is one of them. Santali literature is as old as Santali language in this world. The written form of Santali literature did not exist since ancient times. It was practiced orally among the Santals. Santali literature is mainly divided into two parts. One is oral literature and the other is written literature. In Santali literature, oral literature is richer than written literature. Since ancient times, Santals have been practicing their language orally because they are illiterate. In 1837, Reverend Jeremiah Phillips visited India and gave himself the first written form of the Santali language. At this time, the Santals practiced orally in their own literature. This literature of the Santals is called rod literature. According to the division, Santali oral literature is divided into 11 sections. They are number 1, folk song, number 2, folk tale, number 3, binti, number 4, kudum, number 5, gidra bauli, number 6, proverb, number 7, idiomatic phrase, number 8, bankhed, number 9, mantar, number 10, journey, and number 11, folklore. With these, Santals have kept their language, literature, society alive since ancient times, which is still being studied. In modern times, though the Santals have educated themselves, they continue to practice oral literature. After the Christian missionaries came to India and introduced them to Santali, they realized that Santali was a very different and a rich language from other languages. The missionaries taught Santali language to communicate with the Santals or to propagate Christianity among the Santals. With this goal in mind, the missionaries educated many Santal children. It was they who later contributed greatly to the development of Santali language and literature. Most Santali oral literature was practiced during the missionary period, and missionaries discussed language more than Santali literature. The history of Santali written literature is not very old. Santali written literature started in India during the British rule. The Santali language was first written by Reverend Jeremiah Phillips. It published a book named A Santali Primer in 1845. This book was the first book of Santali. Reverend J. Phillips' next book is Sequel to A Santali Primer. This book was printed and published in 1850. The third book in Santali language is An Introduction to the Santali Language. The book was published in 1852. Historically, the written form of Santali literature was given by Christian missionaries. The missionaries who focused on the study of Santali literature after Reverend J. Phillips are Reverend E. L. Puxley, Reverend Otis Batchelor, Dr. C. R. Lepsas, Reverend W. T. Stores, Reverend L. O. Scrapsroot, Reverend E. G. Mann, Reverend A. Campbell, Reverend F. T. Cole, Robert Cartiers, Reverend P. O. Boding, Reverend R. R. Rosenland, Reverend C. H. Bompas, Reverend J. Gustal, Reverend Kitchen, etc. After the missionaries, Ramdas Tudu Reska was the first Santal to publish a book. He had published a book in 1894 named Kherwal Bangsho Dharam Puthi. After this, Raya Soren published a book of essay titled Chhatrai Desh Majhiriya Katha in 1917. This book was the second book in the history of Santali literature. The third book was a book of poetry titled Baha Dalwa, written by Paul Jucher Soren in History of Santali Literature. The book was published in 1936. After this, Chaitanya Hemram Kumar published a book of essay named Santal Aar Pahadiye Kwa Itihas in 1937. This book was the fourth in the history of Santali literature. Before and after the independence of India, some Santals have dedicated their lives to the writing of Santali literature. Among them were Pandit Raghunath Murmu, Naike Mangal Chandra Soren, Stephen Hakim Murmu, Sadhu Ramchand Murmu, Panchanon Mandi, Solomon C. Murmu, Gorachand Tudu, Sam Sundar Hemram, Balkishore Hemram, Narayan Soren Todesutam, Dr. Doman Sahu Somir, Sarada Prasad Kisku, Aditya Mitra Santali, Nathaniel Murmu, Padmasri Bhagbat Murmu Thakur, Nunku Soren, Badha Besra, Sam Murmu, Padmasri Chitta Tudu Tiger, Babulal Murmu Adivasi, Doman Hasda, T.K. Rapaj, Rupchand Hemram, Professor Digambar Hasda, Dhirendranath Baske, Kaliram Soren, Dr. Suhrit Kumar Bhaumik, Kushal Baske, Kevalram Soren Paikan, Chandramohan Hasda, Bhojrai Hemram, Gomusta Prasad Soren, Guhiram Hemram Rusika, Jodunath Tudu, Jamadar Kisku, Madan Mohan Mandi, Lakshman Soren, Jyotilal Hasda, Mahadev Hasda, Kolendranath Mandi, Kalipada Soren, Sarada Prasad Kisku Kherwal Basiye, Harihar Hasda, Kanailal Tudu, Badal Hemram, Porimal Hemram, Dr. Krishna Chandra Tudu, Dr. Ratan Hemram, Bhogla Soren, Rupchand Hasda, Jodumoni Besra, Gaur Chandra Murmu, Aditya Kumar Mandi, Tara Singh Baske, Damayanti Besra, Samai Kisku, Sadhan Kumar Mandi, Lusaram Murmu, etc. Dear learners, today we learned about Santali language and literature. Next lesson, we discuss something more special. Thank you once again, and I look forward to meet you in the next lesson. Goodbye for today and happy learning.